Sorry, before we get to the reason that I won't be sleeping tonight, or more likely ever again, I feel I should set the scene. Alita Battle Angel is the first mega bomb of 2019, and since its primary character is a 14-year-old girl fighting giant robots and cyborgs with a sword that's bigger than she is, I'm going to make an educated guess and assume that it's based on some sort of anime or manga that probably did a much better job of explaining what in the name of Idris Elba was going on. As far as I could puzzle out, and it wasn't easy, 300 years ago there was a war between Earth and Mars, which Earth barely won, and now we have your bog standard, all the rich live in the floating city, and all the poor live on Earth. Then, Christoph Waltz finds a robot in a junk pile, and everything changes. Well, sort of. If this film ended with "to be continued" appearing on the screen, then it would be a more satisfying ending. Oh, and yes, I did say Christoph Waltz. This film is a who's who of acting legends. You've also got Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, and Jackie Earle Haley all turning up to collect their paycheck. Ed Skrein turns up to humiliate himself, but that's what happens when you try to play with adults. Directed by Robert Rodriguez and produced by James Cameron, with a $200 million budget with the guys at Weta doing the CGI, this film should be amazing, right? Who could be better with killer robots than Cameron, who gave us both Terminator films? This film should be a license to print money, except it just doesn't work. What little plot there is so generic that you'll see it all coming. There's so many characters that everyone may as well walk around with a giant sign above their head stating their purpose on set. Then you have the question of why this film has a single frame of live animation at all. There's so much CGI on screen that you could have made it an animated film with so little effort, and if you were so desperate to show off your A-list cast on screen instead of using them as voice actors, then what's wrong with motion capture? Seriously, sometimes this film looked worse than the CGI in AI, artificial intelligence, and the rest of the time it was up and down the uncanny valley like an out-of-control roller coaster. Don't get me wrong, this film looks amazing. Some of the visuals are works of art, and every penny is on the screen. But you can have all the pretty visuals that you like, but bad fight scenes, dull characters, and so many other issues let it down. You can only hide so much with slow-mo, especially repetitive slow-motion shots. Yeah, that fight scenes are some of the dullest I've seen in a while. We're never given a clear idea of what Alita is capable of. She seems to regard losing limbs as nothing more than a minor annoyance,
but a scratch,
and never seems to be vulnerable in the slightest. Now, I can take one easy fight to show how much of a badass she is, but if you keep having fights where the hero is never in danger of so much as a split end, then why should I be invested? Also, the editing for this film is absolutely shocking. I'm not talking about the kind of editing that can turn an 18-rated film into a hard 12A, although there's plenty of that, but the kind of editing where it seems that whole scenes have gone missing. Somewhere out there is a 3-hour 18-rated version of this film which would be slightly better. It wouldn't fix many of the issues with this film, but it would at least feel whole, unneutered, and at least a film that's doing what it wants to do with a director who's being allowed to make the film he wants to make. Because who gets Robert Rodriguez to make a 12A movie? That's not his skill set. I think Spielberg would have been a much better choice, or at least someone else capable of directing this kind of epic. Hell, Cameron would have been better. At least he has experience of films of this size and scope. But that's another issue. The biggest issue with this film, not just the fact that the whole film should have been full CGI, which would have meant a lower budget and more freedom for the director, as well as allowing for a more consistent tone. One scene that I think was supposed to be a turning point for our heroine instead provoked hysterical laughter in my screening, but that's not the big issue. The big issue is that someone, somewhere, probably full of inspiration powder, decided to give Alita
those eyes, those horrible yellow eyes,
normally see in an anime, whilst giving everyone else, and I do mean everyone else, normal eyes. Why? You tell me. It's distracting and scary, looking fake whilst adding nothing to the film. If it gave her Terminator vision, then I could understand. But it doesn't seem to have any purpose other than to look like it did in the source material. It means that Alita, even though the film is live action, is done with CG animation. The film's really gory as well. Parents thinking that this is a similar level of violence to, say, a Marvel film, please be aware that this film has an insane amount of on-screen violence which may scare younger viewers. I swear with maybe like 12 seconds added, the rating for this film will go up to an 18, which is where it belongs. Look, Alita Battle Angel is a poorly plotted, badly edited mess which should have been a gritty, gory, CGI 18 rated film instead of a 12A blockbuster. Give the main character some normal eyes, or make it clear that at least give her some sort of an edge in the bland, badly done combat. Get rid of some characters and give those remaining something to chew on, and you might have a slightly better film. As is, the only question this film leaves in the mind is, will it be as big or a bigger bomb than X-Men Contractual Obligations? So I definitely think that you should skip it. But what do you guys think? And what is the best anime or manga adaptation to film? Comment below, let me know, because I feel like I'm missing out on something here. I'm Daniel, this has been a Dunking. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.